Yeah, I played every Legend of Zelda game growing up just like most gamers that grew up with Nintendo. I started with the original and A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, so on and so forth. Minus Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. Still haven't actually played that game, surprisingly. But, one day. Zelda games always seem to have a weird connotation to them when new games come out. Started with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask as far as I noticed. People like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask comes out, and people hate it. Yeah, there was a time where people actually really hated Majora's Mask. Hard to believe with the way it's perceived now, but it's true. Then the creation of Wind Waker came out with that Twilight Princess tech demo that everybody loved, and after being changed to the art style of the actual Wind Waker game that we got, people really hated that, and you know what? They started to love Majora's Mask. Then cue in Twilight Princess, people hated the wolf, they loved Wind Waker now. And Skyward Sword, so on and so forth, you get the point. Now, Breath of the Wild seems to be the exception, but the hell, that was a brilliant game, so really, what can I say? But this video is about The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, obviously based on the title. So as most of these videos start, let's roll back time to my childhood. Christmas of 2001. Waking up in my grandparents' house to a giant Pikachu-faced bag. This bag was always the bag that held the best gift. So you can put two and two together. Pikachu bag, year I got my GameCube, my mother having sacrificed her ever so precious air miles to purchase said GameCube, giving up her yearly vacation, oh woe is her. She did end up getting a trip to Hawaii thanks to my dad's golfing skills, but that's a whole other story. Back to the story at hand. So it's Christmas, Pikachu bag, GameCube. Only issue? We didn't know who it was for. Between me and my cousins, we had no idea because I don't remember there being a tag on the Pikachu bag. So I'm sure after a couple tense moments, probably a few debates, I finally got my hands on a brand new GameCube, Super Monkey Ball 2, and one controller. Yeah, no memory card, kind of got that a few days later, realizing that I actually needed a memory card to accomplish anything. But fast forward to 2002, and the time of Nintendo Power still being the best way for a 9-year-old to get information. One page showed something greater than my childlike mind could possibly imagine. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which would go on to become my favorite Zelda game of all time. I mean, I have a giant poster framed in my room of the game art, so yeah, that should be an indication. But then again, there's Majora's Mask one right beside it, not really the point. Anyways, now, if you're a small child and don't want your hopes and dreams of Christmas shattered, then mute this part. Okay, we're good? We're good. So, Christmas of 2003, the last year I ever had a thought of Santa Claus being real. Here I am, a few days before Christmas, getting ready to go to my grandparents', and of course snooping for presents, as most children do. I guess my family wasn't home or something, I don't know, but I took a stroll into my parents' closet, and lo and behold, a bright gold case under a bunch of clothing. Deciding to venture further, I finally got my hands on what would become my very own copy of Wind Waker. Now, I wasn't so bold as to try and play the game before my parents got home or anything like that. I was curious, not stupid. But when we finally got to Christmas and I was all prepared to open my gift from Santa, a solid mix of excitement and shattered reality came over me. It was the same copy of Wind Waker I had held in my hands no less than a week ago. Santa was fake, parents were liars, and my childhood innocence died that day. Now, normally I would have to wait till I got to my grandparents before I could put this game to use, but for some reason we didn't go that year. I think it might have been a snowstorm or something. I honestly can't say why. But regardless, my shattered childhood was quickly forgotten as I started my new adventure. I know people, especially people older than me, did not like the art style for this game. It was too cartoony, it was not intimidating as the tech demo they had shown before, but it was perfect for 9-year-old me. Finally a game that was not going to be so terrifying. Bullshit. Re-Deads, still terrifying. Being sucked up by an octopus, still terrifying. Those giant pea hats with the giant smiling faces, say what you want. This game might have had bright skies and colorful characters. It was not a happy-go-lucky game, I don't care who you talk to. But regardless, I still love this game. But when I first beat it, I kind of beat it in stages. Stage 1, the Forsaken Fortress. This is like 20 minutes into the game. and I was scared, swordless, and stuck. And after I finally stopped laughing when Link hit the wall, I realized I was probably in serious trouble. I'm terrible at stealth games now. As a kid, I was a train wreck at them. I never actually ended up beating the Forsaken Fortress. My cousin, who give or take is about 7 years older than me, actually did it for me. Then stage 2. The first 2 pearls in the game. The dungeons are right back to back, and although those tiny peahats were super annoying, I trashed those dungeons and moved on to where I would get stuck. This time for a solid month. Dark cloud, sharks, that goddamn tornado following you, all of it made me feel just uncomfortable enough that I did not want to continue this game. Here's the thing you should probably know. I suck at swimming. I have been terrified of water for the majority of my life, and at this point in my timeline, I haven't even really learned how to swim yet. So this game, though seemingly not scary to most, sticking me in a boat in a giant world filled with 90% water can cause some PTSD hard. Looking back, I can't actually believe that I beat this game. Moving on from my therapy session though. So after about a month, I finally figured out the pirate code garbage, got my bombs, and got that 3rd pearl. At this point, I was heading to the Tower of Gods thinking this is it. I have the pearls, big tower, I must be approaching the final boss. No Master Sword, no end to that mystery, man, no idea how a game made with a strict formula worked as a 9-year-old. So I beat the Tower of the Gods, went on, finally pulled that Master Sword, which by the way was an absolutely amazing feeling the first time you do it. I remember being late at night, I had been playing for hours, and when I stepped into a colorless Hyrule castle, seeing that weird block puzzle and everything frozen around me, fast forward a little bit of messy guesswork, blocks, bad puzzle skills, I suck at games. I finally unlocked the basement and got my Master Sword. This time, I was sure I was finishing the game. Master Sword, break that stupid barrier that I just kept running into over and over again because I'm an idiot, and then end this battle once and for all. Well, nobody said I was a smart child, guys. Jump forward in time to saving the sages, and now the 3rd time that I got stuck. Maybe I didn't read as a kid, probably not, but I had no clue how to get to the fire and ice arrows. Taking weeks of exploring to no avail, oh the joys of not having the internet to find everything. But wait, what did people use when they got stuck? Good question. Well, you see, kids, developers and companies actually used to develop books that would act as a helper to the player. One may call it a guidebook of sorts. So, I bought said guidebook of sorts. Now, my sister, being the true bookworm of the two of us, would read the book while I ran around guessing my way to victory, because honestly, I didn't really want to use a guidebook. Who does? And after a while, she would take some pity on me and tell me what to do. This finally led me to the final chapter in our mess. It was mid-March by this point. It was my March break in school, and I was going to finish this damn game. No excuses, no fears. What I did not see coming was trying to find those 8 Triforce pieces. The biggest fetch quest Zelda has probably ever thrown at us, but with the help of a giant pull-out map from my guidebook, I started playing non-stop, collecting piece after piece. Then on March 14th, 2004 at around 6 p.m. right before supper, why I remember that date so vividly, I have no idea. I could be dead wrong about it. But March 14th, 6 p.m. 2004, I finally lodged my Master Sword so far into Ganon's head that you could probably see it coming out his robes, thus beating the game. So yeah, that's basically my story of playing The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It's easily my favorite Zelda game, though Breath of the Wild certainly could make a debate for that. And it was also the first Zelda game that I ever got 100% everything in the game on. Chests, maps, heart pieces, everything. I tried speedrunning it once, sucked, didn't do it again, and that's about it. Anyways, this has been Let's Remember The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. These are just my memories of the game, my little story that I like to share. And if you like this video, then hit like, and if you really liked it, then subscribe. Make sure to share and tell all your friends. Leave some memories in the comments below so I can read them, and I will see you guys in the next installment of Let's Remember.